Welcome to EVO blog number 3. Today we're going to talk about throw-up bearings, fuel pumps, cams, and camcorders. Camcorders? Okay. Now, I didn't get as much done as I would have liked to this week, honestly, because of the how-to video for the timing belt. That took a little longer than I thought it should. Just the editing and the voiceover process took a really long time. So I spent a lot of my free time this week just working on that video. One thing that I did get to do is take out the back seat and take a look at my fuel pump. And honestly, I really wasn't sure what was in this car. I was hoping there would actually be a Walbro 255 pump in there so I wouldn't have to buy one. But when I went to take out the fuel pump, lo and behold, there actually was not only no fuel pump, but there was no fuel sending unit. So I guess now not only will I be looking for a fuel pump, but I'll also be looking for an entire fuel sending unit. On the flip side of that, I removed all my coil packs and then I removed all the bolts holding on the valve cover and pulled off my valve cover to a nice surprise, actually, because I thought these were stock cams in here. And lo and behold, there are actually HKS 272 cams already in here. And not only are there HKS 272 cams, there's actually ARP head studs. So that was a pleasant surprise, especially after finding out I didn't have any fuel sending unit. And then I also took the time to just put my front mount intercooler back in place. And before I could put that intercooler on, I kind of had to take the time to sort through some old bolts I had. Luckily for my DSM days, I have a whole box full of metric nuts and bolts, washers and stuff like that. So that's going to really come in handy for this build. Because if you've ever done a project like this before, you know that finding the bolts can be a pain. And not only that, but these metric bolts can be really expensive. So I spent a lot of time just kind of sorting through these bolts and kind of getting them more organized because I think that'll speed up the process of putting this car together. Now, talking a little bit more about the drivetrain, I have a stock flywheel that I had resurfaced. So basically now I have my flywheel and clutch and everything kind of all ready to go and get put in. And one thing you may or may not know about these EVOs is that the throw-up bearing release from the pressure plate is kind of a tricky thing to do. So since I already had the pressure plate out and a throw-up bearing available, I figured I would film kind of how to properly release that throw-up bearing from the pressure plate. And I'll probably make a separate how-to video on exactly how to do that as well. But just the cliff notes of it here, what you need to do is kind of push down on the throw-up bearing while you have a screwdriver in between the throw-up bearing and the pressure plate, and then you twist the screwdriver to release the throw-up bearing. So what you'll commonly see is people will just try to put a screwdriver in and then twist it, and that's never gonna release it. You need to push it and put pressure on that throw-up bearing before you can release it. So it's actually kind of counterintuitive that you would put pressure on what you're trying to release, but that's the way it goes. So what you end up doing is putting pressure on your clutch fork, which in turn puts pressure on your throw-up bearing, and then you can put the screwdriver in and twist it. One of the last things I'm gonna talk about, even though it's not really car related, is camcorders. I did upgrade my camcorder, as some of you that follow me on Facebook might have seen, and this is really awesome for me to actually upgrade. This is my old camera. This is the Canon XH-A1, and if you're not familiar with this camera, it's actually still tape based, which it's a digital tape and everything, but realistically, the worst part about filming with a tape is that when you go to actually watch any of the footage or get your footage ingested into your computer to edit it, you need to play it back in real time. So for that last video blog, like I said, I had about 2 hours worth of footage, so I spent 2 hours just getting this footage into the computer. Well, I upgraded to the Canon XF200 for multiple reasons. One, I did just kind of want to upgrade, and two, I will need to really ingest that footage really fast when I'm actually going on the One Lap of America trip and kind of documenting that to do those same day edits that I'll hopefully do. Realistically, I think the only challenge I might have doing those edits is getting internet fast enough to upload. Another reason I wanted to buy this new camera now is so I could play with it for this video blog, for example, and for other stuff, just to get a feel for how everything works and just kind of use it and get ready. Just a good way to prep for One Lap. I also caught this one girl trying to steal my car today, so you EVO owners might want to watch out if you see this girl in your neighborhood. I will also say that the cams I ordered before I knew I had HKS cams came in, so these are the GSC S1 cams. So they are here, and now that kind of actually leads me into my question of the episode. What do you guys think? Should I run the GSC S1s or should I run the HKS 272s and just leave them in there? I kind of want to make a how-to video on changing the cams anyways, and I think the GSC S1s are going to give me a little more low-end power from what I've read. Do you think I should run the HKS 272s or the GSC S1s? And especially if you have experience with both of these cams, please leave a comment, let me know. And besides letting me know what cams you think I should do, I kind of want to know more about what you would maybe like to see in these episodes, since I'm just kind of flying by the seat of my pants here. Do you like mostly the informative stuff? Would you like me to try to be actually more entertaining and more humorous and something like that? Or do you just really want to see me document everything that I'm doing? Do you want to see more of the baby? I don't know, people probably like babies, right? Whatever. Either way, thanks so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. I appreciate all the comments. It's been really cool to actually start this series and kind of get as involved as I have. So hopefully this build continues to go smoothly and I can get everything done. So as you've probably heard me say by now, you can also follow me on all the social media accounts. Boosted Films almost everywhere except Instagram. There I'm just Boosted Film, dropping the S. So that wraps up episode 3. As always, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. This is the key to doing good audio. You need a good microphone. You need to push it and, but one thing you may or might, I'll need to find, crap. Check. What up? Is camcorders.